I'll ask for it, so you're getting it.
Wenn ja, dann tritt für mich ein, so wie ich für dich eingetreten bin.
This is the national program from London. Germany has invaded Poland and has bombed many towns.
Hello NBC. Hello NBC. This is KGU in Honolulu, Hawaii. I am speaking from the roof of the Advertiser Publishing Company building. We have witnessed this morning the distant view, a brief battle off Pearl Harbor, and a severe bombing of Pearl Harbor by enemy planes, undoubtedly Japanese.
In general, you can say that not enough has been made of the fact that all troops committed acts of sexual violence.
We were citizens of this country. We had nothing to do with the war. We simply happened to look like the people that bombed Pearl Harbor. But without charges, without trial, without due process, the fundamental pillar of our justice system, we were summarily rounded up. All Japanese Americans on the West Coast, where we were primarily resident, and sent off to 10 barbed wire internment camps, prison camps really, with sentry towers, machine guns pointed at us, in some of the most desolate places in this country. The wastelands of Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, the blistering hot desert of Arizona, of all places, in black tar paper barracks. And our family was sent 2/3 of the way across the country, the farthest east, in the swamps of Arkansas.
After Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, the U.S. government set up 10 internment camps across the West. They detained over 100,000 Japanese Americans perceived as a threat to the war effort.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT.
American soldiers hiking their way through the sweaty jungles of South Vietnam, searching for an elusive enemy.
See, my job was waking up in the morning, going out on a search and destroy mission, meaning that I will search out the enemy and I will destroy him, that I will kill him. And after passing the time, right, it was really a heavy burden on my mind at first. But once you start being shot at and you see some of your buddies fall to your left and to your right, you start to be conditioned to it. But the one thing that got next to me is that I got to the point that I started to enjoy killing. I started to get a psychological high over it.
War. What is it good for? Asked Edwin Starr. From Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, Nina Simone's Backlash Blues, Creedence Clearwater's Fortunate Son, the list goes on, of musicians using their platforms to protest the annals of war. One song that continues shining?
We're going to number now called War Pigs. It's the number of our new LP.
It's Black Sabbath's War Pigs. Formed in Birmingham, England, Sabbath was composed of classmates in the 60s under previous band names.
I didn't do it because I'm not anti-American, and I think that the Americans are the only ones that are combating communism in the world today, and I don't agree with communism.
When they released War Pigs, a heavy amount of backlash ensued. The inspiration, however, was quite simple. From bassist Geezer Butler, where we lived in Birmingham, got heavily bombed during World War II. Our house got its roof blown off by a German bomb and stuff like that. So war is very real to me, growing up here and hearing about these things from me uncles or me father. A lot of me relatives fought in World War II. Both me brothers were in the army in England. The whole street was bombed during the war. I used to find pieces of bombs and things in the backyard when I used to go digging in the dirt. Bill Ward, the drummer and co-founder of Black Sabbath, gave an interview to the BBC explaining what he saw at their shows with the release of this song. Vietnam vets in wheelchairs with accompanying American flags. He'd say, "They got it, man," to the network. as in the vets understood the purpose and significance of the track. He also said those in wheelchairs were held up when War Pigs was played. This was the conclusion.
And didn't know I was going to cry this morning.
One can easily comprehend when taking in this video how much it means to them. In a 2004 interview, Butler would go further. I just couldn't stand the thought of, here we go again, sending the working class out to fight for all these rich expletives. There's no way I was ever going to do that. So that's what War Pigs is about. The opening verse, with stunning vocals and chilling imagery, is nonetheless timeless. After all, the United States currently sends billions of dollars abroad and manufactures bombs to be dropped on the innocent as we speak. Osborne would say, the main thing with War Pigs is to liken all the politicians with Satan and to show how Satan is taking the world over. It's likening the politicians with witches and things like that from the old days. They're all getting together to create evil. Originally named Walpurgis, Butler told NoiseCreep.com, the meaning is sort of like Christmas for Satanists. And to me, war was the big Satan. It wasn't about politics or government or anything. It was evil. So I was saying generals gathered in the masses, just like witches at black masses, to make an analogy. Butler would also go over how the record label thought the track was too satanic, so they changed it to War Pigs. The bridge speaks for itself. Corrupt politicians who enable and also greatly benefit from their country's war machine send out the poor and working class to fight their proxies. The band hopes for justice someday for all the innocent that lawmakers sent out to die in the name of patriotism and the flag, to name a few. Butler would then go into even greater detail of the influences behind this song, and let's just say it was up close and personal. We used to tour a lot of American military bases in the first band that I was in, and in the early Sabbath days. We'd talk to a lot of the GIs on their way home from Vietnam. They used to tell us how horrible it was over there, which on the news, you never heard that side of it. They'd tell us about being stranded in jungles for weeks on end, and they didn't think they'd ever survive and that kind of thing. A lot of them were on heroin or acid or whatever. It was horrendous what they were going through, but you didn't really hear about it in newspapers or on the television. They sort of kept that side of it quiet. And War Pigs is my response to that. Via Milwaukee DSA, the anti-war message of War Pigs is obvious. Black Sabbath identifies arms manufacturers and the generals who fed false information about the war to U.S. presidents as villains in the Vietnam War. The language of moral outrage and dystopia, which Black Sabbath gave metal in War Pigs, is a powerful tool for expressing the evils of capitalism in a musical form. If you can, please do become a channel member at youtube.com/tytsports. Just click the join button and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We always appreciate the love on social media. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We see these comments that you leave of different political songs that we want to start covering, start doing deep dives on, and presenting to you. Leave that song that you want covered in the comments section below. Appreciate y'all watching. Have a good day.